Okay. So thank you. You look fine. You look like lighting is good. Everything is good.
Perfect.
Flow, aura, all of that is good. Thank you so much for doing this. Like, I'm just like really honored. I was saying this morning, I was like, oh my God, I'm just so glad he said yes. Just so glad you said yes. And in case you forgot, I do have your first book, and I'll be getting.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember everybody that got the copy. You was at the juice spot.
Yep, because I got the signed copy. Yep.
That's it. You got the exclusive.
So I'm like, yes, I can't wait to get the Nuts one. And I'm just really impressed. So
thank you.
Yeah, just thank you. So for all my podcast listeners, thank you for still listening to Nia's Garden. I'm really excited about this series because I'm planning an event in June for the Melanated Meadow. So Nia's Garden, this is a meadow within the garden, as I see it, to bring together the Black spiritual community here in my area. And I wanted to start warming people up by speaking to people who are a part of that community and why. Like, why have so many people of color, especially Black people, decided to start moving away from traditional organized religion and going a different way, whether it's to ATR or something else, just what the mindset is behind that. So I am honored that I have the illustrious, the award-winning author. That I'm just go ahead and put it like that. I'm going ahead and manifest that. The award-winning, best-selling author, Ricky Prestige Leverett Jr. And see, I have his book. So he is an author, professional metaphysical motivational speaker, ordained minister of metaphysics, and father. He's spoken on a variety of topics from audiences both big and small, ranging from corporations to small cultural events. He specializes in mind science, motivation, metaphysics, and psychology. He studied metaphysics under Dr. Paul Leon Master at the University of Metaphysics. Ricky has been teaching, speaking, and studying mind science for over 10 years. What he does not know is that at the very beginning of my spiritual awakening was in March 2020. And around June, I think you were doing something with Band of Brothers. So I'm friends with Big T. And so all of a sudden, a lot of the Band of Brothers ended up becoming friends of mine on my Facebook friend list. So that's actually how I discovered you. And so your post actually helped a lot through the early stages of my awakening journey. And also got me to start going back to school. So I'm actually enrolled at the University of Metaphysics because I discovered it. Yeah, I discovered it on your phone. Like, wait, you got a degree in metaphysics? What is that?
Right.
So
yeah,
I actually discovered it because of you. So, thank you so much. Anybody listening, or if you find this on my YouTube and end up watching, you're not here for me. So I'm going to give you a few minutes just to introduce yourself before I start plying you with questions.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate that great introduction, that prestigious introduction, and I thank you for that. And I'm glad to be speaking on a topic like this. And the funny thing is that because this morning I missed I missed the meeting, but we got it back together, and I woke up about to make a video similar to this very topic about spirituality and fear and us being scared of a lot of things that could actually help us. So I just want to put that out, how it was in sync, because I hadn't even read I remember the interview, but I didn't realize how close of a topic it was to what was already on my mind. You know what I mean? And just for the people to know me, I just want to put that out first. But for the people out there, my name's once again Ricky Prestige Leverett Jr. I'm a metaphysician, a meditation instructor, mind science coach, and different things of that nature. I deal with a lot of spiritual topics. I deal with a lot of my main expertise is mind science. So I go into how you can change your programming. I believe that everything starts at the beginning inside your mind as an idea, or someone else implemented that idea. And that's how you create your world or your reality. So I thought that was a key place to start. But that is what I teach here. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, but we'll go all into all of that probably within the interview.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And it's funny how your expertise and what I decided to start doing as my first coaching topic are so in sync. My first coaching topic is self-love, and it starts like the first part of it is getting to know yourself and understanding how you think, how you move, why you tick, why you do the things you do, and understanding yourself holistically, because you don't know why these things are even a thing to be able to address them. So I love that that's the way that your book starts with mind alignment is, the Hermetic principles and understanding those particular concepts. And I just think that is really amazing that this is something like, I was like, he's in Augusta? Like
I say that to myself sometimes.
Like, I'm like, yo, and it's always funny. That's why the vision I have for June is what it is, because a lot of times we'll go through an awakening and think it's just us and we're doing this by ourselves. So So coming to the topic at hand, like why spirituality. So can you tell us a little bit about how you were like brought up? Were you brought up in a Orthodox religion, and what that journey and transition to metaphysics look like, and how, whether there were obstacles, how people reacted, like just that whole, what that looks like?
Yeah, for sure. And I love talking about this because it's an interesting story. That's why I even became a teacher of these topics, because I actually started with myself and I made all these changes to myself. And that's when I realized, like, these are universal principles that other people can use to change the way they see the world, going after their goals and manifesting and just having a more connection, like you said, to self and knowing thyself and doing that analysis and seeing what makes you become the person that you are. But going into the question of where it began at was, the way I came up was, of course, Christianity, just being part of a Black family. That's what we're pretty much prone to. But I would say that, and I think I got lucky on this point, was that my parents really didn't instill it in me, where they were, we didn't have to go to church or, because I talked to my wife, and she basically got traumatized by how much of Christianity she had to take. So it's more imprinted in some people than others. And I think that's why I was able to open myself up and be able to get this information, because I didn't have as much as a hurdle to jump over. But I knew my whole life, without my parents telling me, that I was a spiritual person. So as I would go to my grandma's house, she reading the Bible. It's a typical thing, but nobody was like pushing it on me. So that was good. And they gave me that opening to be able to study what I wanted to study. They didn't understand all the time, but they would give me that option. But as it got deeper, though, because I started off in Christianity for myself, thinking, if I'm this spiritual, it got to be something religious to this, where I need to, I tried to find my space and my footing. I thought I was a preacher, honestly, which I am, which I am, but it's just not the same topic. But that's while I was in the streets or whatever I was doing, I always felt like, and my friends would say it, they'd be like, man, Rick, you more mature than us. You like a preacher or something. I think this is just your crazy time, but then you're gonna have a rebirth. And they were kind of right, but it just wasn't in Christianity. And then as I started studying metaphysics and the YouTube time came, it was wide open. I got me a laptop because I was reading before that, but I had a laptop and my process was slow. So I was still at TD Jakes and Joel Osteen. And I got that laptop and I opened myself up to all kind of spiritual teachers and learning, and the universe just kind of brought the answers that I was seeking for so long to me. But once you wake up, a lot of people don't understand it and don't get it. And you do, and I did lose a lot of friends and family because of that. And I think they're coming back around because they see that I'm just not crazy. I'm actually, changing. So they coming back now because it sounded crazy. At first, my mom was like, "What you been up there smoking at school?" I was like, "I ain't been smoking nothing too drastic, you know." Just and she was like, "Oh no, you talking crazy." I was like, "Nah, I ain't been smoking nothing out of the norm," you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the first initial thing I got was that I was crazy, and then I lost my mind at school.
You know, I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I was not raised Christian. Even though I'm born and raised in the South here in Augusta, I was raised as an Israelite. So, so in a similar fashion, I was always on the outside.
Yeah.
Being here in the South, so it was easy to just go further outside. I'm like, all right, I'm already out here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you out there with Hebrew Israelite. They don't play.
So like, I'm already out here, so I might as well just keep on keeping on. One of the things in my own personal journey, and with you being in mind science and metaphysics, but also having been brought up in Christianity, I'm wondering if in your studies, in your travel, especially in the University of Metaphysics, when you think about Jesus, Yeshua, whichever name resonates now as opposed to when you were younger, did you have one of those like yo moments when you started studying more, or what was that like?
Oh yeah, definitely. Everything was a yo moment. Everything was like, what am I reading and what is this blasphemy? They are blasphemous. I can't believe they saying this. I just seen so much stuff that people would say I couldn't believe, because I jumped into the conscious community a lot at one point, and I was listening to them brothers teaching. They would say things that was so forbidden in my mind at that time, but I liked the fact that they weren't scared of it. So I started, when it comes to Jesus, it's still in my world, you know, somewhat. It's just the way I view it is different. I see him as a master teacher, you know, that unlocked his abilities and maybe got a lot of stories told on him, but what they give us is not the truth. And once I accepted just that thought that they could be lying, I was opened up to so many other things to be able to find myself. Because I'm like, when I started getting those oh yeah moments, I started unlocking things in me, and I took past the barrier, and now I'm able to see the fear in other people as I'm speaking these words and talking. And now I look at it, and that's what I was thinking about this morning, because I was like, you know, did Christianity or religion institutionalize our thinking and put us at a point of fear, and we don't go past a certain point, and that's why we can't heal, or that's why we can't get over the hump. And I don't know why people of this generation can't see that, when we had countless generations get into the same hole or the same matrix that someone else gave to them. So I was just steadfast on, you know, learning as much as I could and being real with it and using it and then give it to people. People still don't take it all, but I learned that it's not supposed to be everyone. It's people like us, and we'll shift the paradigm without everybody being involved, because some people need followers, or some people need religion and things like that. But I don't.
That's a powerful statement. I often hear people who become spiritual and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're still doing ... And in my mindset, it's like, everyone's soul has its own journey, and their soul may have chosen to be Christian. But I said, for me, it's a matter of discernment. It's not that I have a problem with Christianity, which would be surprising, because I grew up and had someone tell me because I wasn't Christian, I was going to hell. If I didn't convert to Christianity, I'm going to hell. But
I get that told every day. I get, especially on TikTok, they be going in on me. But
and but I'm like, especially for Black people and people of color, I feel like we have to have a level of discernment. We were conquered, like, to take that as it is. We were taken from our country and conquered, and then made to believe that everything we knew prior to leaving the continent was a lie. And in 2022, to not say, is it possible that was done to brainwash us? Is it
Yeah.
possible to not to think like why is it that you feel like before slavery came, we didn't know who God was? Why is it that you would
Yeah.
believe that concept? And when you talk to people, when you speak and you start speaking about that, um, what are your feelings or thoughts, or what do you say to us to what's the seed you feel like is most important that you plant that just makes them say, just think about it? Like, what does that look
Mhm.
like for you?
Yeah, good question. Good question. Well, I mean, you pretty much broke it down like that's the seed right there, that the fact that they lied about so many different things, and the fact that I realized slavery was more psychological than anything. And then I realized that it's tactics that you can use and certain things that you can use to shift a person's behavior. And what I realized was that that behavior is controlled by that programming that they gave you. So a lot of people, I take it as like the Agent Smith on the Matrix, where a lot of people will fight for that Matrix, to keep in that same mind state. But I think people are moving more towards it because of so much is happening in the world. I think it's a natural awakening process that we're going through
Right.
in general, when you look
Yes.
at the cycles of the universe and things like that. So it makes sense that more and more people are waking up. But the aha moments come with when you start doing your history and seeing how close that was of happening. Like, I'll give you this example. Like, for instance, slavery so-called ended in 1865, but we think in 1865 in our minds like a long time ago, because we're in 2021, but generational wise, it's only about 3 or 4 generations.
Exactly.
So what they got from their people was directly from slavery at that point, because unless they part of someone that came later from an African tribe and maybe orally kept the traditions, but that was very rare. So just to know that we got our whole mindset shifted and placed into a program, and then it got to running on itself after a while. And now it's at the point where it's at now, where it's like the children, which is us, the children's children, which is us, is coming, but we have the internet. Yes. And we have the ability to not be ignorant. And that's part of the great awakening of the collective, is the fact that this information can't be hidden any longer, but you still have a choice to follow the old program. Yes. So it's a thing. Now I realize it's on the person. I'm not here to try to convince you any longer. I'm here to put this out there. If it resonates, your discernment telling I'm a good person, or whatever you need to feel what I'm saying, it's best to disconnect me from it, because what I'm saying is deeper than who I am. That's smarter. That's the smartest thing to do, because you'll look at my life and judge me because I'm human. So, but you can disconnect from what I'm saying, from the messenger, and hear the message. And this is a universal thing. So people are coming into this awakening, and we're just the forerunners, and we're already in a position to be able to give you things that will help you on your journey if you're just beginning. But our history and our generations were traumatized into believing a religion. And I started becoming a realist, and I realized, like, hey, they gave us this for their benefit and not ours.
Yes, that was great. Do you remember like the moment, whether you knew you were having a spiritual awakening at that time, when you look back, do you remember that moment where it's like, I am moving away from like that what that first moment was like for you, like, and how did you feel when you came to the realization?
Well, first off, I felt scared. I felt like I had, I felt like I was going to be punished, because the way that they make God out to be is a father figure that punish you for listening or thinking something else. Like, I've been felt, I even look at that where they say we born sinners, and I'd be like, I think we animalistic, at the end of the day. And when they say we born sinners, it just puts in my mind like everything I'm doing, I'm going to hell. Yes. So at first it was scary. It was very scary, and it was lonely, because I had to keep it quiet, because I would get, backlash from people that was not even Christians, but people that know a little bit and believe like, oh, that's voodoo, oh, that's this, or that's that. And you getting roots and you getting into that. But it's always been with us. Everybody know somebody talking about, yeah, in Carolina, they still doing root, because it's a part of us. It's still there. So it's just a fear thing that keeps you at that gun. It's like a gun line that I was scared to cross. And then once I crossed it, I got beat up, by the awakening process, because it was like lies. I was alone. It was people not getting it. I didn't understand it myself. I didn't have the following I got now or anything. So it was just me solo learning, and Christianity had to come up eventually. But at the same time, I first learned about the mind first before anything else, before Black history, Christianity, the stories that's missing. Before I learned any of that, my aha moment was when I learned about the subconscious mind. And then I was like, oh, okay, so this is an imprint in my subconscious mind based off of what they got. That's why I was able to handle it. Like, I'm going to break this, because I knew it was a mental thing.
Awesome.
Even the fear.
Awesome. If you could describe your practice, your spiritual practice, and what that looks like today, like what keeps you spiritually nourished and how that looks today, what would you say that looks like?
Well, today is more so dedicated to my flaws, or my being real with myself, instead of letting the ego or people listening to me or follow me get me twisted into believing that I'm perfect or above somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a lot of reality checks to myself. And I was able to do this through my family and the children. And I think about things like that now, how I treat my woman. And it's more so a day-to-day thing of breaking my own flaws. It's not about anybody outside. It's not about a white man or religion or anything. It's just more so like, I'm really slipping on this aspect right here. Let me key in on this. And because I've changed so much, I know it's possible to do that. So my spiritual practices include like meditation daily with myself before I begin my day, or if I can't do it right then, I'll find a way to meditate. Like I meditated or did some breath work before even doing this. And another part of it is I listen to my spirit a lot more, and I just channel the messages and bring it out without worrying about how I'm going to look. And that has really improved my reach and learning that people are thinking these thoughts too. And then I go into, I just recently began sound healing. So I'm going to start offering like sound healing meditation sessions and things like that. So with being a service to the planet and and using that service to better me too. So like the books and everything, it brings me confidence when I finish it. And I just feed on that. It's not really about who's going to buy it or anything. It's like I'm accomplishing these things. So my philosophies are working. That's
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm realizing how to make it sharper and faster with my doubts and manifestations and things. So that's my practice now. Self-work, shadow work, self-care.
Awesome. If there was one beyond the voodoo and hoodoo, one stereotype of being Black and spiritual that you've either been asked or heard that you would want to debunk, what would it be?
I would first like to debunk the witchcraft aspect of it and what we believe is witchcraft and what we've been taught to fear because it was programming. Now, I will say this, it's still things that I'm fearful of because I don't completely understand certain things, but because I realized that my fears there, I kind of step into it. Like I went to the Yoruba African village and they were like cutting a goat head and I didn't really know how that went, but I knew it was something deeper behind it, a sacrifice or what they were going into, but it's just a cultural barrier that I think we need to cross so we can get an understanding that it's not anything to be punished or be in fear of. And also people need to realize, stop being hypocrites when it comes to Christianity, because y'all are y'all don't keep it real. Y'all are the ones hurting the most people with the things that you say and you don't think. So like you say, you got wish to go to hell. And it's like, do you even know what that means? And why are you empowered to even tell me that? Because my beliefs is different when I'm actually probably more in tune with God than you, because I can tell by the way you judge me and push that on me. So I would say y'all are not doing anything helpful when you think you're trying to battle somebody into believing what you believe. So I want to debunk that too. Like, we're not even listening to you. Well, we're not even listening to you because I know your study is not even at the level of what I've looked into to come to this. I didn't just go worship a devil. I did awakening. It's nothing to do with the devil. The devil inside of you as well. And you showing, and you closer to it with the way you hurting people, because that hurts. Like, you're doing witchcraft. I got a video on TikTok, did 200,000 views. It's still going. I went to the slave plantation in Red Cliff Plantation in South Carolina recently to sage it, just to be out there with my ancestors. And people just was, oh, you doing black magic, or your ancestors are not happy about that, or they're gonna haunt you. Just all this fear stuff. And I got the confidence to jump over that, and I stand on it now, and I'll go up against them. I don't want to, but I think, I got to let you know, like, this is real. This is not just no social media. This is saving my life, and it's going to save others. So fall back and go to church if you wanted to be talking like that. It's a lot of people there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people there for you. You don't have to convert nobody over. They there waiting on you. Go get those hypnotized people, not me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
Because it's like y'all are ruthless when it comes to the way that you talk, regardless, just human feelings. Like, you're judging people. Somebody got you judging them. Somebody doing this, you judging them, and you judging. And then most of the time, you tired, man. You projecting now. I know about psychology. You don't believe what you talking about, and you got those inner demons that you can't even express. I ain't gonna say demons. You got those inner thoughts that you can't even express. So you're attacking the people that's expressing them. Because if you really tap in, you know what I'm saying makes sense.
Exactly.
But you fear keeping you right there.
Let's
debunk that devil talk. Let's debunk the devil talk. And what's crazy is the way that they're even looking at God is devilish. Like, God will punish you, send you to hell, burn up cities. Well, that's not God, man. That's not God. God ain't like that. Not my connection to source. Not at all.
That part.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that was the most powerful thing in my own personal awakening, was realizing I didn't have to fear God, that God was already inside of me and inside everybody else. And that each time we look in the mirror, we're all looking at God. Like, if you believe energy can't be created nor destroyed, it's just simply changing form, then all of this dense ass energy is God. And
super dense too. That's a good
right,
word.
Ain't it? Like real thick in here.
It's heavy out here. It's heavy.
Look in the mirror, and it's like, God is me and created me, and I'm looking at that. And in that moment of, how can I not love that? How can I not love that? How can I feel like what I'm looking at is limited when God is limitless? How can I even make that make sense? And the part about, people using their words to like battle against and things in the comments. I think I posted a poem about the ancestors. And it was a poem and a prayer. And when I posted it, somebody was in the comments and they're like, the ancestors are evil spirits. And I'm just like, well, you're welcome to believe that, but nothing evil about my grandma, my grandpa, my family. And to think that the people that came before us, and then seeing somebody, I don't know how people can believe they can go to their ancestors, but don't believe they can go to God. This is where you lack understanding. People aren't replacing God with their ancestors. They respect and venerate their ancestors. They worship God. Those two different actions happening here. So I appreciate you calling that. And I love the fact that you called out the part about animal sacrifice, because they want to act like Israelites didn't put blood of a lamb on the doorpost
Right.
this was a protection. This was a ritual of protection. There was an offering. They gave offering to spirit and said, would you protect us? Then they took the blood of that offering and then they cooked the rest of it. That's the part they don't talk about. It isn't just like they killed an animal and that's it. They killed it and they cooked the animal to, as an act of respect. You kill animals for to go in a grocery store every day. The only difference is there's no spiritual connection to it. Whereas in Africa and other indigenous cultures that do animal sacrifice, there is a spiritual aspect prior to them taking in the meat of the animal when they cook it. So I appreciate that. You'll have to give me the address of that plantation. So that
for sure. It's only like 10 minutes. It's only like 15 minutes away from downtown.
Really? Yeah, you're gonna have to send me that. I like to go on road trips like that. So send me that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tell me, how did you know you were gonna write Mind Alignment, the first book? How that came about, and just tell me about that process, how it came about. And for those who don't have this book, tell us about this book and then how the next book is different.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it came about with initially when I first woke up or called myself waking up, I was I made a group, kind of on Facebook, and I would call it Mind Alliance. And that was the beginning point where everybody thought I was going crazy too, by the way. That was when I was really getting it. Like, people was like, you got a cult going on or something. And I wasn't knowledgeable enough to even understand what was happening myself. I was just more so like, okay, I looked at the book Think and Grow Rich, and I heard about a mastermind alliance. So I was like, I get more people together, we can do more. That was my intention behind it, like create an alliance with my friends of how we share information and do things, which we still do. I still have some day one friends that went through the process with me, and they're going through there. So that was a blessing of mine to have. Like, even when I have family or them other people, I had a couple of friends that was like, bro, you think like that too? Me too. And we just built on it. And we're still kind of like building as we speak. I might have went a little deeper than him because he called me a spiritual advisor now, but it's good that I can get that out there and they trust me with that. But I'm sorry, what's the question one more time? I'm going in right now.
Look, you was channeling. I'm here for it.
I was going in. The book.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I should have known that, right? That goes to show I'm more into that other side than even the book right here, because I'm gonna keep it real. Like, the book was just as far as it goes with the book made sense of being able to condense all these different topics I talk about. And I think it gave me a target audience to it, and it gave me a target topic to stand on for my speaking and for my platforms. And it also felt good that I could give this knowledge to some people. And I was hoping that it would hit the right hands of people that really needed it, like how it sparked me. And I wanted somebody to feel that from my words, like how I would read a book and I'd be like, it's talking directly to me and change my life. That's how I wanted this book to be. So I put a lot of information in this one about mind science and the subconscious mind and reprogramming. So it's an intro level to even knowing that the mind plays a role in creating your reality. Right. And then I went to the second book, which I'm real proud of the second book because it's more personal of my journey. And I catered it to African Americans this time. It's a Mind Alignment 2.0. The paradigm shift for the Black mind. So I was able to go into how I was a kid, and I went to a majority white school, and I would be in the classroom, and we do Black history, and it's just me in there. And then we learn about slavery, and that's all I knew because I came up under their educational system. I was able to say like about post-traumatic slave syndrome, epigenetics, the collective wake-up calls, different things like this, meditation. So I like this one more because I feel like you can understand the mind with the first one, And if you got that part, then you can go over and see, as a Black person, like, what does this even mean for my mindset or the way that I'm seeing the world? And ours is everybody's been programmed, but our programming runs way deeper, and it's generational. So I wanted to key in on generational trauma and things like that, and how we change that.
That was powerful. When you, especially becoming spiritual, and a lot of times for people as spiritual, it's like we realize we're all one and we're all going through this together. So was it difficult for you to essentially narrow your niche, is probably the best way to put it? Like, say, okay, you know what, I'm only going to focus, I'm going to target my people initially.
Yeah.
Was it difficult? Did you feel like, you know what, did you feel you were limiting yourself in any way, or did you say, you know what, I really got to narrow it down to us?
Yeah, I felt like I was limiting myself if I was looking at it from a materialistic standpoint of business wise, you know, because you get more sales if things are universal. Yep. You know what I mean? So but then I came out with the book, and it wasn't many white people that bought it. Yeah. Keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, why am I even wasting my time trying to cater to the world that don't even care what I'm saying, or may already know it? My people new to this, you know, a lot of these topics, so they may already know it. So I was like, it wasn't that hard for me to pivot over to, okay, I'm gonna focus on my people, and I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm gonna tell the truth about history and everything, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm gonna be well researched, so you can't hit me with the, oh, you just worried about Black people, or they got tactics that they use that I'm down on, because I already know that, because I came up around white people. Right. So I know your tactics is to dumb me down, to laugh at me. Oh, y'all doing, like, I just had a battle with somebody on TikTok before I got on here. They was saying, you're a phony and you're a fake, you're spreading fear or something. I said, I'm spreading truth, and I speak life, by the way, if you ain't know. And then I started hitting then I hit your, because I can read energy, so I'm gonna hit your soul, because you came to my door with that. And I told him I was a spiritual warrior, not no peace and love and light all the time. Right. I still got that in me. So I'm not the internet guru of worrying about my business before I worry about what is really, you know, really saved me and could save people. And for the people that want to come to me, I'm not the type to just be like love and light to you. No, I'm going to see your energy so I can make sure that you don't come around here anymore. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, then I'm gonna block you. Or I might get you a video comment. I got more leverage now because more people, because after I said, okay, so he was like, you're spreading fear. What are you doing out here? And I said, well, you can see my page. You can see the work that I put in. And I did it voluntarily on my own. So how can you sit there and say that I'm a phony and I'm not even asking for much money, or what am I being phony to other than my ideas and spreading it? And you got to get to a confidence level for the people out there that's listening now. You got to get to a confidence level where you're able to, you know, be standing your truth and standing your argument of what you're saying. And you might be wrong sometimes. You understand that too, but you also have to stand up to make sure that they don't try to dumb you down and make you feel like you're wrong for talking about Black history or talking to Black people. And I'm Black as you could get. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, me and you both got deep roots. Look at deep roots. So it's like, why would I go to something else other than my people, especially when they down bad, and especially when you don't want them to notice to come up, because they mind can take if we was on a good mindset collectively, we'll probably take off in months or days, you know? So
I can only joyfully imagine that moment when at a mass of us, and you're right, I keep looking at how many, especially women.
Oh, women only.
Yeah, like seeing, and you know, especially reclaiming that, or debunking what witchcraft is supposed to be, and honoring what it truly is, the herbal medicine, our connection to source, and the fact that people get so caught up in nomenclature. Oh my God, you said goddess. Well, God ain't a man either. So I mean, why do you think the Most High, creator of universes, dimensions, and galaxies, really care? Like, let's just think about this from a logical standpoint. I'm out here creating everything. Do I really sincerely care if you switch between God and goddess? Is that what you really think I'm worried about at this moment?
No, not at all. I got past that.
I'm past that. When people say God is wrathful and things like that, as I've come to, like, I personally am an initiated Ianisa as of September in E5. And and I'm getting ready to study Bhakti Yoga, and then I have metaphysics. Like, I'm an Aquarius. I'm about to learn everything. I'm about to learn it all. And
that's lovely.
But what I realize is God is joyful. God is love. I'm like, have you seen a platypus? Do you honestly think Source ain't got no sense of humor? Have you seen a platypus before? Have you actually seen it? And then it was like, that's just a coincidence. So you so special that God's just doing random stuff. There's no plan or artistry happening. Like, you think, like, that's just a coincidence. Even though when you look at it, aside everything else, it can't possibly be a coincidence. And so I appreciate that. Is your book still in pre-sale, or is it officially on sale?
Well, it's official now. I'm gonna start shipping out probably like Tuesday this week, but it's official. Came out on February 22nd. And yeah, you can purchase it now on my website, mindalign369.com.
Okay, tell me about the card that you posted a picture of.
Oh yeah, that's my debit card for my business, for Mindalign 369, and I want to speak on that too, to just kind of put it out there as well. Like, it's been, like I said, I've been doing a lot of self-work. So I've been doing a lot of self-work. I've been really, instead of just reading things, I've been doing it.
Yes.
Like, if a meditation say breathe 4 times, I'm going to breathe 4 times. I want to see, you know what I'm saying? I want to see what will happen if I'm obedient. Yeah, if I'm obedient to these things, instead of just being like, that was deep, or I had that experience once, or this, like that, and just all over the place. I've been keying in. So I did something special where I did the 369 method, manifestation method, where you write your goals or your affirmations 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and then 9 times before you go to sleep, to reprogram your mind. And I did that, and it's funny because I was speaking on being an online entrepreneur. That was one of the main things that I wanted to do. So I did it probably back in September, October. And it's just like, when you really do these techniques, it really will blow your mind of what you become or what you're capable of. So for me to have an online e-commerce store, for me to get 60,000 TikTok followers, and while I was doing these things, while I was saying, for me to get an email before you came for a brand deal, it's like, man, this stuff is working.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, if you work it, if you work, even in my book, if you work those techniques that's in that book, not just read it and work them, you're guaranteed to come out on the other end with the things that you desire, or at least a new perspective of the world. Yes. So yeah, it's like, this is a good time for me, and a good position that I'm in to be able to spread the knowledge to more people. And it came from my mind. And that card was another one of those, there it go again. And I got a card now with my company name on it, and a book just launched, and I finished it in months. So it's just a lovely thing. And I just share it with people to be able to get on their wavelength. But I also learn from people to be able to sharpen myself up too. I'm staying humble, but I'm also very confident.
And that's how it's supposed to be. And I want to say first, thank you. Like, I have been like, like, not stalker following, but like watching your posts and things like that. Yeah. And it's always, the timing is always so divine, because you'll post something that either came up in a reading or something I was thinking about, the download, and then you'll post something, I'm like, Boom, boom.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
I realized that was happening. I realized that's a responsibility that I have. And that's why a lot of times I go into I kind of channel it or see what I need to say, because sometimes it come out of nowhere. And like in a lot of people say, like you said, like that was right on time. Now I might look at it and I'll be like, I got 5 likes on that. Like obviously, but then I think back and I'm like, a lot of people can't even show that they're into what I'm talking about. So they are on the outskirts. And some people been on the outskirts for years. And then they'll pop up and be like, Rick, I've been watching and I've been listening.
Yes.
And it just confirms my purpose in that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing when people like you tell me that. So I do appreciate that, and it's intentionally done that way.
Yes.
You know, for those people to be able to get that message, because I remember when I used to get those messages from teachers, how good it used to feel, and I was hoping to bring that same thing.
Well, you have, and you publishing a book and self-publishing inspired me to publish my first poetry book. So
nice.
when I posted my first poetry book, I was like, I got your book, and then I got other young lady that was with you, Closer to the Sun. And I was just like, why haven't you published your poetry book? And I think I worked after that book signing. I think I laid out my book that weekend. Like I laid it out that weekend. It was published like in a week. So I was just, all of those things you are seen, you are appreciated, especially as a Black man, because sometimes I feel like a lot of times when we're looking, especially Black men, you know, there's a certain level of discernment, because, you know, you may get someone that's like way here or way there, and you know, they're not like you got to have that level of discernment and to be as balanced and well-rounded as you are. When you post a video, it's not simply you speaking spirituality. You might have, what did you post? Oh my God, what song did you just post recently in a TikTok?
Today, was it yesterday? Was it today?
Yes, yesterday.
Yeah, it was Nas, Patience with Damon Marley.
It's like they could see that this isn't just some like woo, quote unquote woo woo stuff. Like it's underneath. If you dig in, if you listen, like there's medicine in some of this music. Some good, some bad, but there's medicine in some of this music. And what you do is allow that to pull people who maybe would be resistant to you. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you being a light in a vessel. There's so much light around you, like you are like glowing around.
Yeah, I've been working on it. And you same with you though. I keep looking up there and I see like, you know, I see nothing but white behind you. But what I was just to go back to what you were just saying about the about being Black and doing it, that's what I feel like I was that goes back to that other question you asked me. What did I feel like I was boxing myself in when I went to Black people? But then I realized I got incarnated as a Black man with this type of knowledge that, and one of my friends really told me this. He was like, I was like, what I'm saying is not really that new, bro. Like I learned this from somebody, and then he just said it, and it always stuck with me. He was like, how many of them look like you though? How many of those people look like you? And not just Black, just look like you. Like I listen to rap music, hip hop. I'm a regular person, and and now I do that I also do that now intentionally to let it be known that the person out there that's just regular, you thinking, oh, I'm listening to this rap music, I can't be spirit. Yes, you can if you know how to hear, because it drives your emotions. Don't let them make you think that you know that's not a ritual in itself, because it's still our same ancient arts put on beat and put on an affirmation. So I be careful what I listen to, or sometimes I might listen to some ignorance because it's all part of me. So, but I be really wanting people to know, like, I'm a regular person, and the more I grow, the more it's the proof of what I'm saying works. So a lot of people see in my journey like you know, so that's, and you probably even seen me change it up a bit, or it switched up and got more intentional.
Yes, and To your point,
and that's where I'm at with it right now.
And that's a valid point, being balanced. And like for me, like I need people to know I'm still watching Dragon Ball Z. I was just watching Naruto before I came on. Like I was sitting in the car singing Dwelle and T-Pain Closer to You. All of these things are still a part of me.
Yeah.
But there's this, and what it does is the spirituality allows us to honor all of who we are. I don't have to. I am an initiated Ifa priestess, and if you unless you realize I'm wearing elekes, and I'm not even wearing all of them, unless you realize I'm wearing elekes, you don't know that, but you know my spirit is bright.
Right.
You know I got good energy, and that's more important than my title. The fact that you just come and be in my presence and say, there is something beautiful about you and your light radiates. And for me, I feel like it's important for us, especially us not only being black and dark skin, black and looking like our Nigerian ancestors with our gaps. That gang unite.
And we gonna show our gap. We gonna show our gaps and smile on their face with. So it's like, that's another thing. I'm not the typical look that we go for. Like, and most people are not. So they need somebody to speak for them and get that confidence. Because most of these people looking for more authentic things than peace, love, and light, homie, king and queen, this and that. And it sounds like a script, because you're not saying that to your mama and daddy when you walk in the house on Thanksgiving or whatever. You're saying, what's up, Pops? What's up? I'm still that person. But it's a better version of me, a much better version.
Yes. Okay. Tell us again on social medias, your website. Go ahead and plug all that stuff.
Yeah. Just to go to the business aspect, we got to handle the business. But it's you can follow me on Facebook at Ricky Prestige Leverett Jr. That's where Nias found me at, and that's where I put a lot of statuses and memes and things like that, and other information and videos. And then you can also follow me on TikTok. That's where I'm the most active at currently, which is Prestige Speaks. That's PRESTIGE Speaks on TikTok, as well as Instagram, and my website where you can purchase the book. You can purchase on Amazon as well. But if you feel safer with that, and the new one will be up there, and they have to approve it. So the new one will be up there in the next couple of days on Amazon. But if you want to go directly to the website, we got jewelry. We got, we're going to start having a lot of other books than just mine. It's going to be like a metaphysical online store, but that's www.mindalign369.com.
Awesome. And I'll make sure if I upload this to YouTube, it'll be in the description box. All the links will be there. Everything will be in my description on the podcast. Thank you again, Ricky. I got a question for you after I stop recording. But thank you. Like, this has been so dope, and I'm just like,
I loved it.
Just so honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you for thinking of me.